Taylor Cora, welcome to Latinas Power Talk. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. You are the youngest person we've had on the podcast, but here's the thing. Little Missy, you are doing big things. And I know that I was a big Disney Channel girl growing up myself. I would never miss a show. I would never miss a movie. And honestly, I love everything that you're doing. You are Winter on the new Wizards of Waverly Place show that is currently on season 1 on Disney Channel. And you have just been renewed for season 2.
Yep, just
Super
today.
exciting things happening. How do you feel about everything that's been happening in your life so far?
It's such a blessing. Like everything, it's all gone by like so fast. And you really don't have time to process. But like, I don't know, I'm just so excited.
When you sit back though and really like take a moment for yourself and be like, I am on Disney Channel and I am on the Wizards of Waverly Place show. That is something that, you know, people my age, we grew up watching and now they remade the show, you know, with new characters, but still with some of the old ones as well. How does that make you feel? Like you're so young, but you are doing it. You're doing amazing things. How does that make you feel like when you actually have time to sit back and be like, wow, I did that, you know?
Yeah, it's so like nerve-wracking. I don't know, like I can't believe I'm here. Like, not too long ago, because, I mean, everything just went by so fast. It was like a year ago that I was just doing auditions.
So let's take it back to the start. Mm-hmm. So have you been acting since you were a little baby?
Yeah, I've been acting since I was like 4 or 5. I started doing like model runways and stuff.
Okay.
And that's how I got like my start. But, of course, what I wanted to do was act. So I've always like expressed it to my mom and she caught on. And so then I started doing auditions and then I booked my first commercial, which was My Little Pony, which is so crazy because I did that commercial with Kylie Cantrell, who you might know from Descendants Rise of Red.
Right.
Which I saw her like years later at the Rise of Red premiere.
Do you remember that first time that you were on a set? Do you remember it, or were you too small to remember?
I do. I was like, I think like 6 years old, maybe 5 or 6 years old.
And it was for this commercial?
It was for the My Little Pony commercial. And honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. I was just having fun. Because, like, when I first started acting, I was too young to really, like, comprehend what I was doing. I was really just having fun doing auditions, which I thought I was getting paid for because I didn't know anything. But then I got booked, which I thought was, like, the same thing as an audition. And so I was just having fun. You know, I put on some clothes. I did the commercial. It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. How is it like? I've always wondered, like, what it's like auditioning as a kid. So I did acting for a few years. And, like, as an adult, it's really like you have to memorize a script. Sometimes you get sent the entire movie and you have to read it through. As a kid, what's it like? Do you have to also memorize, like, scripts when you go into an audition? Or is the process a little bit different for kids?
Well, it depends on, like, what you're auditioning for. But when I was, like, really young and doing, like, just commercials, it was, like, really fun. It was mostly like a game. Like, they usually told you what to do and you do it. And, you know, you follow the rules and they say, thank you, bye.
Right.
And so, like, it was really just like a game for me. I was just having fun doing what they told me to do.
Didn't feel like work.
It didn't feel like work.
And it still probably doesn't feel like work, right?
No, it's fun.
You got the audition for the new Wizards show. What was that like? Did your mom tell you? She got off the phone and tell you? Or did your agent call you? How was that like? Do you remember that day that you got the audition for it?
The audition, well, usually when I get auditions, it's from an email to my mom. And so I had been doing, like, a lot of auditions, like, especially Disney auditions. Like, it was weird because I usually do, like, commercials. And, like, it was just, like, a few years ago that I got, like, the green light to do, like, actual show auditions.
Yeah.
But, like, I was doing a lot of auditions, like, in that month. And a lot of Disney auditions, which was weird. But, you know, I was like, okay. Disney.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know it was originally for, like at first I didn't know it was for Wizards of Waverly Place or Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. They just called it Wizards at the time. And so I was just like, oh, cool, show about wizards.
Oh, so you didn't know it was like the continuation to the original Wizards of Waverly?
Not at the time.
Wow, okay. So you read your character and you auditioned for Winter.
Yes.
How was that like when you got to, you know, be in the audition room and audition for it? Were you like, did you have a feeling you're like, this is made for me?
it was, yeah, like me and my mom were like, we read the description of the character and we were like, this is the one. It's either this one or that other Disney audition that I got.
Right.
But yeah, it was like, because she's me. Winter, the character I play, she's like me. We're
you to the T.
Yes. We're very, very similar. And so like when I played her, it just came naturally. It was super fun, and you know, I enjoyed it very much, even just the audition.
And then when you got booked for it, talk us through that. How did it happen? How did you find out?
So I love telling the story because it's so crazy.
Tell us the story.
Okay, so basically, on that day, I had a field trip. I was at school, and I had a field trip to Universal Studios. And so my mom was at home, and she got the call that I got the role, but I was at school, so I had no idea. And so I guess she, like, while she was at home, she was, like, jumping for joy. She told my dad. She told my Nana. She told everyone she knew except for me, because I was at school.
Right.
And then, obviously, like, it was towards the end of the day at school. We were getting ready to leave on the bus. But one of the teachers came in and said, Taylor Cora, you're leaving early? Okay. So I grabbed my stuff, I went, and all the like staff was just being like super weird because they knew already.
They already knew.
They knew. My mama told everyone.
They knew before you.
And so like on the car ride home, my mom, because she labeled it as a family emergency, which is why I left. But so I was like, okay, who died? And yeah, on the car ride home, she had her gospel music turned up on max. She was like, hallelujah, praise the Lord, praise him, thank you, Jesus. And like, thank you, Jesus, but right. I didn't know at the time, so I was just like really confused.
Like, what's happening?
I was so confused. And then she got me home, she sat me down on the couch, she pulled out her camera, which was like, okay. And she just gave me this long speech, which had me nervous because she wasn't getting to the point. But then when she finally did get to the point, you're going to be on Wizards. You're going to be working with Selena Gomez. I just cried. I just bawled like a baby. I was sobbing. Because this is like my big break.
This is your big break. You're living through your big break. And like how exciting, and I am so proud of you, honestly, because you're so young and you're doing amazing things.
Thank you.
Honestly are. Like, I hope you have a minute. I know you said you're like, sometimes you're just like on fast mode, you know, one thing to the next. But I hope you really like savor this moment and really can look back and be like, I did that. You know, I did that. I brought it to the audition. I brought it to my self-tape, and you owned it, and that's why they loved you. And I think you play beautifully the character, and
Thank you.
It's like you said, it's a part of you, so it's just like we get to see a part of you through the screen.
Thank you,
you know,
so much.
so
yeah.
thank you for like sharing that beautiful story. I'm sure Mom was super excited. Mom is here in the studio, and it must have been super exciting to hold that in and be like, oh my gosh, the anticipation of waiting to tell her, because something like this is truly life-changing.
Yes.
How has it changed your life so far? I know you've barely done one season, and there's so many amazing things to go, but how has it in the short time span already changed your life?
So much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's made me so much happier. And I've met so many cool people. I've made family. I've made friends. I go to so many events. It's all like my life has just changed for the better. And we moved into our new home, which is closer to the studio. We wouldn't have moved if I didn't get the part. And so, like, this has really just, like, completely changed my life.
Is it something that you always envisioned ever since you started, like...
Yes.
Ever since you were a toddler in diapers, where you're like, I want to be on Disney Channel. I want to be on Disney Channel.
Yes.
I grew up in a different era of Disney Channel. Are you familiar with, like, Hannah Montana, High School Musical, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Lizzie McGuire... Taking it back to Lizzie McGuire. Have you ever heard of Lizzie McGuire?
I do.
Did you ever, like, as in your room, do the din, din, din,
yes.
din? I mean, I think everyone as kids, we always dreamed of that. And I know me for myself, I was in my mirror thinking, I was like, I'm Kenya Vasquez, and you're watching Disney Channel, and you actually get to live it. So when you actually got on set, what was that first day like? Were you nervous at all?
So nervous.
Really?
So nervous, because... The thing is, the way my character is, she appears on the 3rd episode, so they had already filmed, like, the pilot without me. So, like, they had all of the cast had already spent a whole week together, so I felt kind of like the outsider.
Newbie.
The newbie.
Yes.
Newcomer. And so I was just like, oh, hi. And especially because all of the other cast, they have, like, experience, but this is, like, my first, like, television series or just anything. I usually do commercials.
Right.
And so, like, they're all so talented and just so, like, professional. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. This is so great. And so I was just like so excited and, awkward.
No, but you owned it. I've seen the show. And you perform amazingly. You play your character well. How is it like on set? Is every day different? How is it like? Like I'm sure it's like super exciting to go into it every day. It must not feel like work, right?
It really doesn't. It's just, chilling.
Every day is different?
Yeah.
How is it like to balance like school? Are you still going in person to your school, or has school changed a little bit for you?
School's definitely changed.
Yeah.
I think from like kindergarten to 3rd grade, I was going to in-person school. And then from 4th grade to 8th grade, I was going in person.
Okay.
I believe so. Or not in person, homeschool, sorry. And then what I got like at the end of 8th grade is when I got the role. So now 9th grade, I'm doing homeschool again.
How's that like?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than in person, honestly, in my opinion. I know some people would like in person better just because of the experience, but it's so much easier to manage, especially since I'm working at the same time. But yeah, I enjoy it.
So you just got renewed for season 2.
Yep.
Exciting things are happening. Do they give you guys a little peek of like what's happening next, or are you going to go into work and not have an idea of what season 2 is going to come for your character, and so are the other characters?
Yeah, they tell us nothing. I have no clue.
Really? So you just get your book and you're like, okay, start reading through it, memorizing lines, all that stuff.
Yeah, we know what the episode is about when they send us the script to read the very next day.
But right now, you don't know anything that season 2 is
right now I
gonna
have no clue until
Wow. Where would you like to see your character?
I don't know. I hope we get more scenes of her.
Okay.
Because, we did get a lot of scenes, like, towards the end of the first season.
Right.
But I think I would like to delve deeper into Winter's character.
Yes. See more of her in season 2.
Yeah.
That would be really great. The evolution also, as the kids grow and get older, I'm sure there's a lot to still tell in that story.
Mm-hmm.
For someone out there who's like listening and they want to, have their big break like you just did, what advice or what tips or what should they be doing to like prepare themselves for that moment where like their big break may come? That next audition may be the one. What should they prepare themselves with?
I think they should get used to being nervous.
Yeah.
Because, new experiences every day, you're going to be nervous.
How do you deal with nerves? How do you deal with them?
I don't know. I kind of just ignore them. Like,
Okay.
they're there, but, I have a job to do. I have a job to do. So I kind of just do it anyway.
There's a lot of people who say that, like, one, if it doesn't get you nervous, you're in the wrong industry. One, right?
Yeah.
And then two, there's people who say that they turn those nerves into, like, energy to kind of feed off, like, their character, if they're singing or whatever. Like, they transform it into energy, which I think it's so beautiful that you can, like, then feed your craft from that, right? Would you say that's, like, how it works for you?
Yeah, I definitely say so.
So you, like, start on set and then it kind of just, like, goes away. You forget about it.
Yeah.
You forget about it. What has been kind of, like, one of your most favorite moments so far?
I don't know. I just love, like, being there.
Yeah?
Like, I don't know. I think I like, one moment that I can really think of is just, like, all of Talent 101. When I first got booked, that's, like, the first place I went. It was just where, like, all of the cast was there for the first time. Well, after filming the pilot without me. But, like, everyone was there, and they had, like, a bunch of crew, I guess, or just everyone that was going to be working on the show. And they all sat us down, and everyone did presentations or whatever. But, yeah, they were literally just telling us that, like, this is going to be big, so prepare to have your life changed.
Yes.
And little did I know, they were telling the truth.
Right. So how has, aside from this being, like, something that you've always worked toward, how else has it, like, changed your life? Like, obviously school has been different, but like, going to the grocery store, has that changed? Or, can you still do, like, your daily, like normal things that you did back then?
I think so. I mean, sometimes I have moments, like one time I got recognized at the movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, it was a strange, like, encounter, because they didn't, like, come up to me, but, like, I saw them looking at me, and I was just, like, and then, like, it was a group of girls, so they were all just, like, giggling and looking, like, and I was just, like,
starstruck.
Yeah.
They were starstruck, yes.
It was cute. But, yeah, I mean, so far, people leave me alone.
Yeah. Yes. Have you ever been starstruck by anyone?
Of course.
Really?
Of
Who?
course. Like, almost everybody I meet when I, like, go to premieres.
Yeah.
Especially, like, Selena Gomez, when I met her for the first time, yes. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm totally not freaking out right now. But, yeah, it was, like, every time I meet someone, like, I'm so easily starstruck. Like, it's just, like, every like, famous person that I meet, they probably think I'm so weird. The way I react is, like, crazy.
I think it's normal, though. It's normal because, I mean, you probably grew up watching these people on TV as well. So, like, when you have them in front of you, you're like, oh, my goodness. Like, that's really, you're real. You're real. Yeah. You know what I mean? I remember I was at a premiere, actually, and I met the dad from High School Musical, so Troy Bolton's dad, and I felt exactly the same way. I was like, wait, this is the dad we grew up with. Yeah. Like, he's in front of me, he's real. So I think they're probably used to it too, you know? It's just like so fun to, I guess, see them out doing regular things too, you know, like grocery shopping or, you know, just pumping gas or whatever it may be. But what kind of like shows did you grow up watching and movies? What were your favorite Disney movies growing up?
My favorite Disney movies, this is gonna seem like recent, it's gonna like age me because I'm so young, but I really like Encanto.
Really?
Yes. Like, I watched that movie like 7 times. It was so great. I know all the songs. It was great.
Nice. Encanto. And then when it comes to shows, what would you say?
I really, like, I'm a cartoon girly, so I really like The Owl House. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's a cartoon on Disney, and, like, I was obsessed with that.
The Owl House. Okay. I grew up with, like, Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb, and for sure Lizzie McGuire, like we said, Even Stevens. I think back in my time, now that I think about it, we had more, like, live action, you would say, than, like, cartoons, but yeah, I need to watch more of the recent Disney shows for sure. I'm definitely feeling a little aged right now. You know, I'm like, wait, the Owl House, I'm not caught up with that one. For sure. What are some like projects that you're like, you know what, I want to do that in my career? Like, is there anything that you're like, you know what, at some point I want to do a movie like Encanto, or at some point I want to do a show after Wizards like this? What's like on your bucket list of like dream roles?
I think I would really want to be, like, just in a movie. I really like comedy, which I'm already in a comedy show, so that's great. I really like horror movies. Well, I don't really like horror movies. Sometimes I'm scared of them, but I would definitely like to be in one. And just, like, yeah, like, a movie. And voiceover work. I really want to be, like, on a cartoon.
I can see that. You have like a great voice. I can see it definitely projected into a cartoon. What would be like your cartoon's name if we were to make one up right now? What's a good name?
Bubbly.
Bubbly.
I
love that. Would you keep your voice, or would you know how sometimes like the Rugrats, they altered the people who did the voice, they altered their voice. Would you keep it yours, or would you change it up a little bit?
I think I would change it up a little bit. Because for Winter, I have mainly the same voice.
Okay.
But sometimes I pitch it up just because she's 12 and I'm 14, which big difference.
Yeah.
But I'm almost 15, so.
Yeah.
Close enough. But, like, sometimes I pitch it up just to, like, convey her personality. So I feel like I definitely do the same, like, depending on what character I end up voicing.
Mm-hmm. How is it like, you brought up a point that I would love to like get your input on. How is it like sometimes being bubbly, because your character is bubbly, and very happy and very just positive? Do you ever have times where you go into the studio and you're like, oh, I'm not feeling it 100%, you know? Has that ever happened to you? And how do you bring that energy in those moments where maybe you're not feeling the emotions that she's feeling in that scene, but you still have to bring it? How do you do that?
I mean, I'm very similar to Winter, so usually I am, like, really bubbly, but sometimes I will be on set and I'll be, like, tired or have a headache, but I'll still have to do the scene.
Yeah.
But usually I'll just, like, feed off of whatever the castmate is in the scene.
Was it hard to, like, get on set and familiarize yourself? I've never done a sitcom. I've never done, like, a show like that, a series. But I know there's, like, different cameras and stuff like that. Was it hard to, like, familiarize yourself with, like, set life?
At first.
Really?
At first. Because, I mean, I've really only done commercials.
Yeah.
So, like, a show in general, it's a lot to get used to.
Yes.
But I think, like, since we have such a supportive crew who, like, they know that this is, like, the first thing I've ever done, They're so wise, and they teach me, and they're nice about it, and it's great. And now I'm used to it.
Now you're used to it, and now you're a pro, and now we can't wait to see you on season 2. Is there anything else that you would like to tell people watching or anyone who looks up to you and just says, you know what, I want to do what she's doing one day?
I would say to don't dim your light. Don't try to tone down your personality to, I don't know, seem normal. If you're a person who has a big personality or a big sense of humor, or you're just some wacky, quirky person like me, don't pretend to be someone else unless you're acting. But yeah, just don't dim your light for anybody else. Be yourself, and you'll make it in life.
I love that. And I think that's a message that so many teens, so many young adults, and even adults need to hear, because I feel like sometimes society feeds you you gotta be less of this, more of this, less of that. Why are you this way? So I think it's beautiful that you bring your authentic self.
Yeah.
And it's gotten you this far. So I hope this serves as a message to anyone that just being yourself is enough.
Yeah.
Being yourself is enough, because you're different than the next person, and that person's different than the next person, and we all bring something new to this world that needs to be seen, right? Yes. And shared. So you're half Puerto Rican.
Yes.
That is so exciting, little Missy, because so let me tell you a little story. When I was young, I sound like a grandma right now. Let me tell you a little story. When I was younger, Disney Channel honestly didn't have anyone who represented or looked like someone like me, except when Cheetah Girls came out. And I remember Adrienne Bailon. I remember watching the movie for the first time and being like, she looks like me. If she looks like me, then I have a shot at being on Disney Channel. I have a shot at being in a girl band or whatever I envisioned as that. I think I was 7 at the time. So I hope that you know in your heart that you're inspiring other girls, that they can see themselves represented in you. And that's why, honestly, I wanted to invite you on the podcast, because I wish I would have seen you when I was a kid. I wish I would have seen you on TV when I was a kid, so that I could look up to you and be like, you know what? She's doing it. I can too. So thank you for highlighting that part of you. Thank you for representing Latinas in this industry, because I think we need to see more of it. How does it make you feel?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad to be that for other little girls or just other Latino children. I try my best to be awesome.
And you're learning Spanish is what I heard. So how is that going?
It's going well. I mean, I try.
It's really hard learning a new language.
It's a whole language.
You have to learn the grammar, pronunciation, everything. But how long have you been learning Spanish for?
Well, I've been trying to my whole life, but I think this past year, or maybe a year ago, I've been really trying to nail it down.
Yeah.
I do Duolingo daily, and I've started taking Spanish class with an actual Spanish teacher. And so I know a little something, something.
You know a little something, something. Throw something out there so we can hear it.
Tengo hambre.
I think we know where you're going after the podcast. So, what are we eating? ¿Qué vamos a comer? What's your favorite Puerto Rican dish?
I don't know.
There's some good food. Arroz con gandules, maduro, right? Just very good, authentic food. You'll have to... you go.
I go to Thanksgiving sometimes with my Puerto Rican side of the family, and they make a lot of stuff. I just eat the rice and beans though, because I'm picky.
What is next for you, Miss Taylor?
Season 2.
Season 2. We are excited for season 2. Where can they find you on social media?
I am on Instagram at Taylor Cora. I do believe that's it. I think, and besides Disney Plus. Disney Plus and Disney Channel. But yeah. Instagram, at Taylor Cora.
And make sure to stream the show. And season 2 is being renewed. Do we have a premiere date yet? Not yet, but in the next few months, right? Yeah. We'll be seeing a season 2, more of winter. And thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Of course.
Your first podcast.
Yeah.
I am honored. Thank you so much, Mom, as well, for everything that you guys are doing. I can't wait to see your character continue to evolve, and also your career. I know she has so much things in store for her. You're just such bright light, and exactly how you told everyone, I hope you know that you bring something new to this world and something authentic. So keep being you, because that has gotten you this far. So thank you so much, and thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of Latinas Power Talk. I will see you here back next week on Wednesday. Bye.